The new residential developments in downtown Barrie are required to provide only 0.85 parking spots per unit. This is to increase the number of units in downtown and also because not all residents own a car. However, one small business owner on Collier Street in downtown raised questions about the impact of reduced parking requirements on her business. Dr. Christy Inglis, owner of Barrie Family Chiropractic, spoke to the council in opposition to the proposed bylaw amendment reducing parking requirements from 1 spot per unit to 0.85 spots per unit. Inglis has owned the property since 2014 and provides space for other commercial offices. She told council that the reduction in parking would significantly impact her business and other 4 businesses that operate in her building. Director of Transit and Parking Strategy, Brent Forsyth, told council that in the future there will be more reliance on the municipal parking system and the city needs to retain the parking supply to support the growth in the downtown. Council plans to reevaluate the impact reduced parking will have on businesses in the downtown vicinity.
All right, members of council, will now proceed with our council meeting. We're going to move on past reports from officers as there are none to deputations. There's one emergency deputation request from Christy Inglis regarding motion 22-P-053 concerning a zoning bylaw amendment application for 129 Collier Street, Ward 2. As the deputation request was received after the printing of the agenda, a vote in the favor by the majority of council is required in order for emergency deputation to proceed. All those in favor on my right and on my left? It is approved, so I'll invite Christy up to make the deputation.
Thank you very much for taking the time and hearing what I have to say. The reason for me speaking today, I'll give you a little background. I've owned the property directly adjacent to the proposed development since 2014. At my property, I operate my business, and I also provide 4 other commercial offices at very affordable rates. All 5 of us operate our own businesses without staff. I am very much in favor of this development. The only bylaw amendment that I am opposed to is the reduction of parking requirement from 1 spot per unit to 0.85 spots per unit. Since owning this property in 2014, the elimination of free parking on Bursey Street between Collier and Eugenia has been eliminated. The north side of the street where there used to be permit parking is now metered parking. The south side of the street where my front door is used to be free on-street parking, and now it is also metered parking. All 3 of these things over the past 8 years has changed my ability to operate business, and I've accommodated since then and made changes to our scheduling, how many staff members we have, how many offices I rent. So we've rolled with it. However, it has already impacted my business. With each, I fear now if the large apartment building directly next to my office is allowed to have the bylaw amendment with less parking, it is going to severely impact my ability to operate mine and the other 4 businesses that operate out of my small building. We've survived the pandemic, all 5 of us, and I would like to survive further in Barrie. And still be able to offer commercial space at reasonable rates. So that is the only amendment that I am strongly opposed to. The rest, I'm happy to have that lovely apartment building next door.
Thank you so much for making the deputation. Before you move on, can you just state your address and full name?
Yep.
Not required? Not required.
I can tell you anyway. Christy Inglis. Christy Inglis. I'm chiropractor at Barrie Family Chiropractic. And my address of the building I own is 137 Collier, the building, the property that I'm talking about is the proposed at 129 Collier, which also has an address on Dunlop as well, that whole complex.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Mayor.
coming this evening and expressing your concern.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anyone wanting to provide an emergency deputation on the reports considered at today's General Committee meeting? The matters were LCS 007-22, Structure of Committees of Council and Procedural Bylaw Updates, and the second was an item for discussion regarding the City of Barrie's Lobbyist Registry. Are there any emergency deputations being requested? As there are none, we will move on to tax applications. Deputy Mayor Thompson, do you have a motion regarding the tax applications?
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Jim Harris, that the list of applications submitted to Council for cancellation, reduction, and additions of taxes dated December 14th, 2022, submitted by the Treasurer in the amount of $35,987.66 be approved.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that the list of applications for cancellation, reduction, or additions to taxes to Council dated December 14th, 2022, submitted by the Treasurer in the amount of $35,987.66 be approved. Ms. Cook, have we received any objections to the list of applications for cancellation, reduction, or addition of taxes?
No, we have not.
Mr. Miller, have we received any objections to the list of applications for cancellation, reduction, or addition of taxes?
No, we have not.
Seeing as there are none, are there any questions or concerns from Council? With no questions or concerns, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? It's approved. We will move past communications as there's none into committee report. Deputy Mayor Thompson, I believe you have a motion.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section A of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. 22-P-044 zoning bylaw amendment application for 34, 36, 38, 40, 44, and 50 Bradford Street, Hit Barrie Central Inc. Ward 2, and 22-P-045 site plan control requirements for processing for 10, 14, 18, 20, 22, and 24 Grove Street West in Ward 2. Are there any questions or comments from members of Council? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. Those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson. Sorry, Councillor Morales.
Don't you have to go first?
You're right, Councillor Morales. I was wrong.
You passed the test. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section B of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is in regards to 22-P-046, applications for an official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment for 70 and 76 Edgehill Drive, Ward 4. Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'd like to declare an indirect pecuniary interest with respect to file D30-023-2022, as one of the owners is a business partner of mine, so I won't partake in the vote.
Thank you, Councillor Morales. Madam Clerk, has the conflict been noted?
Yes, Mayor Nuttall, it has.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from members of Council? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. Those in favor on my right and on my left? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section C of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section C of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-P-047, application for a temporary use bylaw, 164 Innisfil Street, Ward 2. Are there any questions or concerns from members of council? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. Those in favor on my right and on my left? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section D of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section D of the Planning Committee report dated November 29th, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-P-048, presentation concerning the new comprehensive zoning bylaw in the City of Barrie. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-G-170, Development of Strategic Priorities for the 2022 to 2026 term of council. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
That section, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section B of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-G-171, discussion of confidential education or training session, establishing conditions for success. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor on my right and on my left? Approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section C of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section C of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-G-172, Council Strategic Priorities Session 2022 to 2026. Any comments or questions? All those in favor on my right and on my left? Approved.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section D of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. A recorded vote.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section D of the General Committee report dated December 3rd, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. 22-G-173. This is the 2022 to 2026 Council Strategic Priorities. A recorded vote is being requested. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I will start with Councillor Rima.
Yes.
Councillor Nixon.
Yes.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes.
Councillor Corser.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Negussi.
Yes.
Councillor Harvey.
Yes.
Councillor Harris.
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
Councillor Hamilton.
Yes.
And Mayor Nuttall.
Yes.
Carries unanimously.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section A of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. 22-P-049, this is a temporary use bylaw for 164 Innisfil Street. And 22-P-050, the official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment for 320 Bayfield Street. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move to the vote. Those in favor on my right and on my left. It carries. Councillor Harris, your microphone there. Oops. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the Planning Committee report dated December 2nd, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by the Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is regarding 22-P-051 zoning bylaw amendment 969, 979, 989 Mayview Drive East, Sandy Creek Estates, Ward 10. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left. It carries unanimously.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section C of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
Good to go.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section C of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 22, as circulated, be adopted. Are there any questions or comments?
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that motion 22P052 of Section C of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be amended to add the following paragraph. That Staff and Development Services report back to the Affordability Committee at a time those regulations associated with Bills 23 and 109 are passed to advise if our process is in alignment with them or requires adjusting.
Thank you, Councillor Nixon. It's moved by Councillor Nixon and it's seconded by Councillor Harris that motion 22-P-052 of Section C of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be amended to add the following paragraph. The Staff and Development Services report back to the Affordability Committee at the time of those regulations associated with Bills 23 and 109 are passed to advise if our process is in alignment with them or require adjusting. Are there any questions or comments regarding the amendment? Seeing none, just before we vote, I just want to say thank you to Councillors Harris and Nixon for bringing this forward in relation to a letter we received and for being on top of this for our council. It's in line with the work that I know you're going to be doing in the Affordability Committee. Those in favor, sorry,
can I just have one quick question?
Yes.
Just in terms of them reporting back after the regulations have passed, is that after July 1st you're asking staff to report back to the committee? Just
Through your Mayor Nuttall to Councillor Hamilton, I would just assume if the regulations come in place before that staff would report back at the time, but it looks like it might not be till after July 1st, so that would be when staff would report back.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left? Thank you. It's approved. We'll now go to the main motion as amended. Any other questions or comments? Those in favor on my right and on my left? It is approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section D of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris. The Section D of the Planning Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is concerning 22-P-053, the zoning bylaw amendment application for 129 Collier Street, Ward 2, and the item for the deputation this evening. Are there any questions or comments? I have one quick question through to members of planning staff. The requested amendment with regards to parking that was brought up at the deputation this evening. My understanding is that the new proposed official plan and eventual zoning bylaws are proposing a lower parking rate than what we've seen here as part of the application. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question, Mayor Nuttall. So the parking ratio that's proposed for this project is certainly in keeping, it's 0.85, and it is very standard with some other parking ratios that staff have recommended and council has approved in the area. And absolutely, you're right in terms of the work that we're doing on the new zoning bylaw and as it relates to parking. Overall, we are going to see a lower parking ratio going forward in most areas of the municipality.
Are there any other questions or comments? Before we do, I think it's important to recognize the time that was taken by, I apologize for your last name, remember Christy, use your first name. And it's an item that I think we're going to see more and more in terms of the downtown as we see increased development and at the same time lower parking ratios or rates. It's going to be something that we see more and more. And so I know there's going to be, oftentimes there's going to be competing interests when it comes to this. And we will do our best to get it right going forward. I assure you what you've said tonight hasn't gone on deaf ears. And we'll certainly take a look at that as we work through all of the parking for different proposals that are coming forward and also our own strategies with parking downtown. You mentioned a few items that had changed over the years, and I know that we'll be having a conversation about that after tonight's meeting and what you've brought up. So thank you for bringing that here this evening.
Sorry, just a quick question through you, Mayor Nuttall, if we can. Will there be some sort of impact assessment of these, as you've said, that previous developments as well have lowered the parking? Is there an assessment being done on businesses as we're trying to encourage businesses downtown and people to be going downtown, to be utilizing businesses? Are we looking at the impact of less parking on businesses in the downtown vicinity?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Hamilton. So there's two different departments that look at parking in the municipality. So one ties into myself and the review of parking applications, development applications, and then through our team in transit and parking, they look at the broader city parking strategy. That I'm not sure if Ms. Rebecca James Reed might want to talk a bit more about that. But we absolutely look at parking comprehensively, but there's still two of us two sections that look at it.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Hamilton. Actually, I would just invite Brent Forsyth, who's on the Zoom call, to join the call because he's prepared to answer the question.
Mr. Forsyth?
Good evening, members of council. Sorry, can you hear me?
We can now, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Yes, thanks for the question through Mayor Nuttall to Councillor Hamilton. Yes, we look at the parking supply in the downtown. And when we work closely with Ms. Banfield's department, and as part of the strategy, we actually calculate what the what we're anticipating kind of the supply and demand to be in the downtown to ensure that we have enough parking to supply where we think the future is going to be in the downtown. And as part of our last parking strategy update, which was presented to council in 2020, we did highlight the need to retain our municipal parking supply in order to support the growth of the downtown, because we know this type of decisions are going to be made through the development process where there's going to be more reliance on the municipal parking system. So that is embedded in our strategy as we move forward.
Sorry, can I just clarify then? So for the downtown, you're saying that that's sort of an exception to the rule and that we want to ensure that we're maintaining sufficient parking down there, as opposed to other areas of the cities where perhaps we are approving the 85 or 0.85 as opposed to one spot? Does that make sense? Like, I'm just a bit confused because when we're doing the rezoning, it looks like we're moving towards less parking. But then I think I just heard that in the downtown core, we're actually trying to maintain the parking infrastructure.
So I'll let it go to Ms. James Reed. Just before that, I think what you're hearing is there's two separate pieces. The one piece is the municipally owned lots, municipally run regulated parking along road fronts, and then the second piece is with Ms. Banfield in terms of the developments that are coming forward, the reduction of the actual required spaces per unit. But I'll pass it off.
Thank you. That clarifies for me. Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Councillor Nixon.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Mr. Forsyth, I guess, or Ms. James Reed, either one. On a new development where you have, just so I get my head around this, say a unit proposed to be built with, for round numbers, 100 units in it. So does that mean that development, the standard will now be we are allowing 85 parking spaces for that unit or for that development?
Ms. Banfield.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Nixon, that's what the parking ratio works out to, yes, in this, if it's 100 units. And really what that ends up being is that some units then won't have their individual parking spaces. Again, we are seeing it in projects across the city where time and time again, through not only the applications before us, but through the parking justification studies, that there is the ability to be able to justify that not every single unit is going to have its own parking space.
Thank you. Is that based on studies where a lot of developments, there's just simply 85% of the people don't have, or 15% of the people don't have vehicles, or some people have two vehicles, or if you don't buy early, then I guess you don't get a parking spot in the building? Is that kind of how that works out?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Nixon, absolutely. That's how the expression is unbundling your parking. So you might be able to purchase a unit in the building, but you wouldn't purchase parking. Or you might purchase two, but correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Question for Ms. James Reed or Mr. Forsyth. Based on the deputation, could we enhance signage on the Collier Mulcaster Public Parkade side? So if there's any concerns in the future, again, it's hard to predict, but if there's any concerns where there's restricted on-street parking, they're driving around, they're trying to find a parking spot to go to the deputy's business or any other business, that there's a nice shiny sign, better enhanced as to what there is right now, so people know that they can take advantage of the paid parking inside the, I don't know what to call that structure, that block. Could we do that?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Morales. We certainly can look at that. Thank you for the suggestion.
Okay, perfect. And I'll just close off by saying, quick comment, I'll be supportive of the parking reduction as proposed by staff. I think we got to build our downtown up, and we got to build it for people, not cars. The reality is some seniors don't have cars. Some seniors have one car. Some seniors share a car. Funny enough, I was actually in Ward 9 today dropping off some Christmas cards, and I was actually talking to a resident I trust a lot, and she's saying that the number of seniors that are selling off their cars is going up. And this isn't something they found. So I actually found kind of an empty parkade that they have. And very timely with Bill 23, parking requirements are one of the things that kill in residential projects, especially in downtowns. So while congestion is important, while we can't just ignore this, it's uncomfortable conversations like this where we have to realize where's that delicate balance between people, cars, and taking a lot that's been empty for how many decades, and the percentage before as proposed by staff for myself is comfortable.
Thank you, Councilor Morales. Are there any other questions or comments? With that, just before we call the vote, as we have these applications come around the city, there's certainly going to be some concern around them, but it is in the downtown, as Councilor Morales was just saying, we're going to have more and more of this. And if we're going to have 15% of people without vehicles, we need to have a grocery store downtown. It's a absolute must. I'll leave that there, and I know that we'll all work towards that. And I know that Councillor Nixon has brought that up a number of times already. All those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. 22-G-174, Country Lane, no parking any time. 22-G-175, surplusing of city-owned property, 145 Loon Avenue. 22-G-176, 2022 community donation, Honeyfield Communities, Inc. 22-G-177, pending list update, and 22-G-178 of Downtown Barrie Business Association Board of Directors appointments. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor on my right and on my left? Approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section B of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be received. This is 22-G-179, the presentation concerning the 101 on corporate asset management. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section C of the General Committee report this dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section C of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. 22-G-180, expropriation, Yonge Street Row expansion, Mapleview to Lockhart. Any comments or questions on my left? My right? Those in favor on my right? And my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section D of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris to Section D of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is 22-G-181, procedural bylaw changes. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section E of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris to Section E of the General Committee report dated December 7th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is 22-G-182, correspondence from circulation list dated December 7th, 2022, regarding Bill 23. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left? It's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 14th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris to Section A of the General Committee report dated December 14th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is 22-G-183, City of Barrie Lobbyist Registry. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left, it's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harris, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated December 14th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted.
I jumped the gun there, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Harris that Section B of the General Committee Report dated December 14th, 2022, as circulated, be adopted. This is 22-G-184, Structure of Committees of Council, Procedural Bylaw Updates. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, those in favor on my right and on my left, it's approved. As there is no deferred business, we'll move to direct motions. I believe we have a motion without notice, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
That pursuant to Section 7.1 of the Procedural Bylaw 2019-100, permission be granted to introduce a motion without notice concerning a congratulations to the Warden and Deputy Warden of the County of Simcoe.
Councillor Harris. Nothing, no, it's okay. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and it's seconded by myself that a motion without notice, congratulations to the Warden and Deputy Warden for the County of Simcoe, that pursuant to Section 7.1 of the Procedural Bylaw 2019-100, permission be granted to introduce a motion without notice concerning the congratulations to the Warden and Deputy Warden for the County of Simcoe. This requires a 2/3 majority. All of those in favor on my right and my left, it's approved. Deputy Mayor.
Congratulations to the Warden and the Deputy Warden of Simcoe, of the County of Simcoe.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by myself. The congratulations to the Warden and Deputy Warden for the County of Simcoe. To read it out, that the City of Barrie extends congratulations to Mayor Basil Clark of the Town of Romero on being elected as the new County of Simcoe Warden, and to Mayor Jennifer Coughlin of Springwater Township on being elected as the Simcoe County Deputy Warden. Are there any questions or comments? Just before we do, I'll just say congratulations. These are both wonderful individuals who've worked in their respective municipalities, but also at the county level for quite a long time, and it's great to see this election take place. All those in favor on my right and on my left, it carries.